So how's this convention going to work? What's the plan? Well, here's the overall picture. Now, one at a time. An oversight body, ultimately selected by lot, provides governance for the entire process. An agenda assembly of 100 lottery-selected citizens identifies the problems in the Constitution that need fixing. They'll be followed by a drafting assembly, 100 ordinary citizens, also selected by lot, which will draft the new Constitution. There will be 2 ballot initiatives. The first, amending the existing Constitution to allow a citizen-led convention with lottery-selected delegates. The second, a vote on the new Constitution itself. Both will need approval by the people of California. Now let's break it down. Lottery-selected panels don't materialize out of thin air. Someone, or some group, has to get them going. The convening committee. They're a politically balanced group of prominent public servants from around the state who believe in democratic innovation. They're a short-lived committee that'll jumpstart the process. They'll have 2 jobs. First, they'll seek the advice of experts in lottery-selected panels and collaborative government. With that advice, the committee will select a moderating organization. It's the moderating organization that conducts the actual lottery and coordinates the assembly process. Of this, more later. Meanwhile, the convening committee's second job. They'll seek out advice from a range of constitutional experts. These experts will inform the committee from a variety of perspectives and will help them choose introductory presenters for the agenda assembly process. The convention has now been given the start that it needs. Because we want everyone involved in the ongoing convention to be ordinary citizens chosen by lot, not elected officials, and not people appointed by someone. So once the agenda assembly is constituted, some randomly selected members of the assembly itself will form a governance assembly that will gradually take over the decision-making from the convening committee, which will step into the background. At that point, the entire convention will be governed by lottery-selected panelists. What will the governing assembly do? It'll continue the process of selecting experts and advocates that will testify for the agenda assembly and then for the drafting assembly. We'll also supervise the moderating organization to ensure that the delegates are demographically representative of California and that the deliberative process is fair and inclusive of all voices. It will resolve any disputes that arise and produce a fair and public evaluation of the process. The panelists in the governance assembly come from the agenda assembly and later from the drafting assembly. They rotate in, selected by lot, serve for a time, and then rotate out, replaced by other lottery-selected panelists. A word about the moderating organization that'll conduct the lottery and facilitate the delegates' deliberation. It's a professional organization with experience in democratic lotteries. There are a number of these to choose from. They're nonpartisan and content agnostic. The lottery selection process will be transparent and public. Members of the moderating organization don't join the deliberations. Their job is to facilitate the deliberations so they're fair and all voices are heard. How will the assemblies work? They'll get to know one another. They'll be given training in critical thinking, cognitive bias, and rational inquiry. They'll listen to and question experts, and if they're not satisfied with the answers, call in other experts. And they'll do the same with advocates who will speak on either side of the issues. Who are the advocates? Anyone or any group with a stake in how California is governed who wants to testify. The assemblies will draw from a broad range of voices representing California's diversities, and from a multitude of sources such as polling, surveying, regional assemblies, affinity groups, public work sessions, interested private citizens. And then the assembly will deliberate. Why do we need 2 assemblies, an agenda assembly and a drafting assembly? Because each will have a big job, and once the problems are identified, it will be time for fresh eyes to address them. It's a proven way to avoid dogmatism and groupthink. Let's put all the parts back together. These ideas aren't new. They've been tested in hundreds of citizen assemblies around the world over several decades, and they're our best shot to solve California's problems precisely because they unlock the insight and informed opinions of everyday people. This enables decisions that the rest of California can trust because they can look at the result and see that everyday people like themselves headed the decision-making process. It's government of, by, and for the people.